Good morning, everyone. We'll start in just 1 second.
Good morning. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We have a large audience planned today, so we want to make sure everyone has a moment to get in. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to the Office of Illinois Works 2026 Grantee Manual Session 1. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us this morning. The 2026 Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program Grantee Manual is comprised of 14 sections, which we will cover in 3 different webinars over the course of this next month. My name is Monica Pruitt. I am the Downstate Pre-Apprenticeship Program Grant Manager for the Office of Illinois Works, and I'm located in Springfield. This is my third go-round, I think, with the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program Grantee Manual and update. So I look forward to learning right along with you about some new and different changes that we have in store for 2026. The other facilitators today are my colleagues Shar Foltz and Edwin Sanchez. Shar and Edwin, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I am Shariana Falls, or Shar, and I am the Upstate Pre-Apprenticeship Grant Manager, Programmatic Grant Manager in the Chicago office. Thank you all for joining.
Thanks, Shar. Edwin?
Yeah, thank you, Monica. Good morning, everyone. Edwin Sanchez, Upstate Pre-Apprenticeship Grant Manager. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Okay. And so hopefully you were all at the in-person onboarding meeting in Naperville a week or so ago. And so you had the opportunity to meet some of the other members of our passionate team of experts who are committed to supporting your pre-apprenticeship program success. If you happen to be on the line when I call your name, please say hello to our participants today. Shiva, next slide, please. Okay, so our leader is Dr. Norman Ruano, who is the Deputy Director of Illinois Works. And unfortunately, he cannot be present with us today, but I'm sure he appreciates your participation. You've met me, I'm Monica Pruitt, and Edwin and Shar. We have Robin Hovey, who is one of our financial grant managers. We have Mr. Dan Martinez, who is also a financial grant manager. We have Ms. Sue Ridings, who is our monitoring grant manager. And then we have numerous members of our professional development squad, including Dr. Jeff Doolittle, who is an instructional designer and professional coach. We have Dr. Carlita Alston, who is an instructional designer and professional coach. I'm sorry, Carlita, will you say hello?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. We have Ms. Kanisha Jones, also an instructional designer and professional coach. Ms. Olivia Masonbach, who is a technical writer. Mr. Shiva Jamal, and I'm sorry, Shiva, if I pronounced your last name, who is our virtual producer, but if you would say hello, we'd appreciate that.
Hello, everyone. Hi, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. And then last but not least, we have Dr. Gia Suggs, who is our professional development lead, instructional designer, and professional coach. Gia, please say good morning.
Morning, everyone. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you so much for our staff also for being here today. And as you also heard at the onboarding meeting in Naperville last week, we have a team accountable for our other programs as well. We have a team for the Apprenticeship Initiative, one for Career Services, and a team accountable for the Bid Credit Program. So next slide. Let's talk about the course that we're going to go through today. So Illinois Works was created as a result of Governor Pritzker's historic $45 billion capital plan and his commitment to expanding equity in the Illinois construction workforce. As an Illinois Works grantee, you are now a part of this exciting new initiative that will create opportunities for Illinois businesses, communities, and families. Illinois Works consists of 3 key programs. The Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program is the second program that was implemented, the first being the Apprenticeship Initiative. This training is the first of a three-part series that reviews each section of the 2026 Grantee Manual to ensure grantees can effectively implement their Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship program. Over the next 3 hours, we will cover the first 3 sections of the 2026 Grantee Manual. Please note that throughout this session, facilitators will refer to the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program Grantee Manual, page numbers, tables, templates, exhibits, and sections. All guidance and references in this session, are from the 2026 Grantee Manual. The manual also includes exhibits, which are tools used to help demonstrate or clarify information and should be used as is, and templates, which are tools that can be modified or tailored to suit your specific needs for your convenience. Once the 2026 Grantee Manual is produced, manuals from previous grant years are no longer valid. And as an announcement, the 2026 Grantee Manual has not presently been published, but we do anticipate that it will be published in the next few days. So we're hoping to have it available for you by the end of this week. So please stay tuned. Okay, Shiva, next slide, I think. So Grantee Manual Session 1 will cover the following. Section 1, Introduction to Illinois Works. Section 2, Program Culture. And Section 3, Staff Roles, Partnerships, and Leveraged Resources. By the end of this training, you will be able to describe the relationship between DCEO and Illinois Works, identify the Illinois Works 3 key programs and role of career services, reference Illinois Works definitions, articulate the Illinois Works program core values, list the Illinois Works staff roles, and measure cultural elements. Please note, this session is being recorded and will be made available for review on our Illinois Works Partner Guide website. The link to the Illinois Works Partner Guide is available in the chat. Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like I missed some course objectives. We're learning more than I realized. We're also going to learn about how to incorporate diversity, inclusion, belonging, and equity into your program design, how to comply with legal expectations, how to explain the critical role of partners, how to differentiate between partners and providers, how to implement an MOU or Memorandum of Understanding, and how to overcome barriers to successful partnerships.
Monica, for
Yes.
C, I'd like to make a note for those of you on mute. If you are not responding in the chat with a question or opening your mic to ask a question, we ask that you please keep your microphone on mute so that we can eliminate some of the noise and cancel some of the noise. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Carlita, for the reminder. Okay, Shiva, next slide. This is your second reminder. Please note this session is being recorded and will be made available for review on our Illinois Works Partner Guide website. The link to the Illinois Works Partner Guide is available in the chat. Okay, are there any questions before we proceed to the next section? If so, you may feel free to unmute your line or post your question in the chat. And are there any questions in the chat?
There are currently no questions.
Fantastic. In that case, I will turn the mic over to Shar, who will move on to Modular 2. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. So I'm going to be working on Module 2, which is the Welcome and Introduction. And by the end of this section, you'll be able to utilize WebEx features, identify course participants, identify what you hope to learn from this training. Next slide. So if you are not familiar with WebEx, we want to make sure that you are fully engaged. So we're going to review very quickly some basic WebEx system function. So we've talked about the mute and unmute and to stop and start the video, but can everyone raise their hand? Do you know how to raise your hands? So you can look to see raise hands at the bottom next to the smiley face with the plus. So if you can just raise your hand and unraise your hand. I see Monica. Marvin, thank you, thank you, thank you. Very good. And also, if you have questions or comments, you can put those in the chat. As Dr. Carlita stated, to help facilitate the best experience, please keep your line muted to manage potential interruptions during the training. The lines can be unmuted during question and answer sessions or group discussions. If you have a question or a comment, please share it in the chat or unmute yourself during the question and answer sessions at the end of the training sections. There will be definitive points during the training where you'll be asked to ask your questions. We'll try to respond to as many of your comments and questions as possible within our time allotted. Next slide. If you have further comments, feedback, or questions after this training, you can email us. And the email is being added into the chat. It is ceo.ilgrantmanagement@illinois.gov. So what we're about to do now is we are going to work with Mentimeter. You should receive a Mentimeter request or inquiry. And there's also a Mentimeter link in the chat. You'll see on the right-hand side of your screen a multimedia viewer alert. Click the blue continue button. Once you press continue, the Mentimeter app will show in the multimedia viewer panel. This will allow you to fully participate during this training as well as provide us with feedback at the end of the training. So using Mentimeter, please answer the following question: your name, organization and agency, role, and geographic location. So next slide, we're about to get started with this. Very good. Oh, you all are already on top of it. I love it. Welcome, 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 welcome. I see some familiar names and grantees and some new ones as well, so welcome. How many I'm trying to see how many participants we have, see how many we should have. So we currently have 66 total and 50 people in Mentimeter. So we have Courtney Dockery from Clio, Rochelle Haynes from CAPS. We have Debbie Price from R3 Development, Saya Knox from Revolution Workshop. We have Hene Wallace, Filberto Rios from Association House, Seth Brosio, I'm probably not saying that correct, Cameron Clark from CAPS, Nadia Hill from CAPS, Kashmir Crump from Youth Build Lake County, Tracy Polson from YBMC, Barbara Garcia. So yes, welcome, 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 and thank you for being here. So Dominic Watson from the Springfield Project, Tamela Hughes from Ascending Knowledge, Hannah Fernandez from Metropolitan Family South Services North, Tracy Polson, Tyshawn from Eden Career Institute, Charles Thomas from Metropolitan Family Services. Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, next slide, please. So using Mentimeter, answer the following question. What excites you about the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program? If you're a returning grantee, you can talk about some of the things that you've enjoyed with your participants, your partners, your community. If you're a new grantee and this is your first opportunity to participate in this grant program, what are you excited about? introducing to your community, to your participants. So serving students, that is what we really want to do. We want to serve our students, seeing the successful transition, change people's lives by building a sustainable career in construction, seeing graduates start their apprenticeships, yes, getting people into apprenticeship schools, empower those who need to reignite their potential and mindset with access to a career for them and their families. That's awesome. Seeing graduates complete the program, career services, supporting our candidates in achieving their goals, seeing candidates grow through the program, um, participants exploring their trade interests. Can you scroll down for me, please? The ability to help a person change their life goals, being able to meet different people and overcoming barriers. I'm excited about creating equitable pathways into skilled trades, empowering participants with hands-on training, wraparound support, and real opportunities for sustainable careers. Sounds like you took that from the main. But that's wonderful. The language is really it's giving our 2026 manual. Serve our students, access to paid resources and opportunities. Okay. Bridging the opportunity gap, helping young men and women in Maywood to get into meaningful careers. These are all amazing, amazing opportunities for your community. So thank you. So next question, please. Is there anything in particular you are hoping that we cover today? Reporting, program curriculum. Those are good. Any updates or changes? Focus on changes from 2025 to 2026 are excellent. Best practices and ways to ensure program successes. Clarity on all things new, information about deadlines for reporting, best practices for partnering with employers. Yes. Any changes from last year? Well, I can say that these are a lot of the things that we will be covering. More details on the required instructor certification. Yes, I knew that one was coming. You scroll down, please.
Shar, can I address one of the points in here just as an FYI?
Yes.
Okay, just to let you all know that changes to from 2025 and 2026, that session was held on Tuesday, and the recording should be posted as along with the accompanying PowerPoint slides by end of week.
Thank you, Gia, for that. Best practices, partnerships with other grantees, career services. These are all amazing. Thank you for your engagement and for answering the questions. Um, Next slide, please. The next question is, who does DCEO serve? Very good. Local communities, ex-offenders, everyone. I like that right in the middle. Illinoisans, job seekers, leaders, underserved, at-risk youth, underrepresented populations. Very good. All right. Thank you all. And they're still coming. Employers, women, veterans, at-risk youth, residents, us. I like that one. All right, next slide. You know what? I don't think, can we come out of Mentimeter? Just think it's the next slide. The next one. There we go. There we go. All right. Are there any questions before we proceed to the next section? If so, please feel free to unmute your line or post your question in the chat.
There are currently no questions in the chat.
All right. Thank you so much. I am going to pass this on to my colleague, Edwin. Edwin, take it over.
Thank you, Sharp. All right, so we'll talk on module 3 about DCO Illinois Works. And by the end, you should be able to articulate the mission of DCO, explain how the Illinois Works Job Program Act supports the governor's 5-year economic plan, and also you'll be able to describe the benefits of apprenticeship programs. Next slide, please. Now let us start with section 1 of the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Grantee Manual, Introduction to Illinois Works. Next slide, please. And the governor's 5-year economic plan, Illinois Works, was created as a result of Governor Pritzker's historic $45 billion capital plan called Rebuild Illinois and his commitment to expanding equity in the Illinois construction workforce. This is a top priority of the governor's 5-year economic plan. With this new capital funding set to pave the way for tens of thousands of jobs over the next decade, the Illinois Works Job Program Act was intentionally designed to increase equity and opportunity in capital construction jobs. The intention is to reinvigorate the workforce in Illinois for years to come. And the full economic plan and report is available on the DCO website. The link for it is also going to be in the chat. Next slide, please. All right, so Illinois Works. Illinois Works is an innovative and unique workforce development model. The unique and innovative model creates the job demand, the talent pipeline, and incentives to hire. So that's how you see those pieces of the puzzle there. All 3 are pieces of the puzzle. Now, typically, your traditional workforce development models have 1 or perhaps even 2 of these key components. Any one or combination of any 2 will substantially impact the workforce. However, the Illinois Works program is innovative because it encompasses all 3 of these key components to create comprehensive response to workforce development from various angles. Illinois Works is a one-of-a-kind initiative and is in a unique position to make a big difference. Next slide, please. All right, so now we'll start taking a deeper dive into the relationship between the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, DCO, that's what you'll hear us refer to it as short because it's a long agency name, the Office of Illinois Works, and the Illinois Works Job Program Act. Next slide, please. All right, now the Office of Illinois Works is housed within DCO, again, Illinois Department of Commerce Economic Opportunity. To assess DCO's information, go to the website dco.illinois.gov. And for those who have previously accessed the DCO website, the website has been updated. There's new address as well. So it's dco.illinois.gov. Next slide, please. All right. So when you go to the DCO website on the search engine, you select Illinois Works, it should populate on the top of the list. If you could hit next, Shiba, please. So it would look like that once you type in Illinois Works and you click on that. Next slide, please. All right, and you'll be, once you select Illinois Works and the DCO Illinois Works Job Program Act page, will appear along with information regarding each of the 3 key programs and links to access each specific program's page. Next slide, please. All right, now the Department of Commerce Economic Opportunities mission, DCO's mission, is to support and maintain a climate that enables a strong economy for our customers, taxpayers, businesses, workers, and communities by keeping, attracting, and growing businesses, maintaining a skilled workforce, and enhancing communities so that the climate here is one in which businesses, small and large, and their workers can succeed to the greatest extent possible. DCO delivers impactful and efficient programs and services. Next slide, please. All right, so we did kind of get a head start with the Mentimeter. The DCO question was supposed to be for now, so we can move on to the next slide, Shiba, since we did already cover that Mentimeter question. All right. All right, now the Department of Commerce Economic Opportunity oversees the Office of Illinois Works and is a top priority of the governor's 5-year economic plan, as mentioned previously. Unfortunately, data shows that for too long, the construction industry and the trades have not been accessible for diverse communities, with fewer than 10% of the best paid apprenticeships extended to women and racial and ethnic minorities. With this new capital funding set to pave the way for tens of thousands of jobs over the next decade, the Illinois Works Job Program Act was intentionally designed to increase equity and opportunity in capital construction projects. Next slide, please. The Illinois General Assembly is the bicameral legislature of the U.S. state of Illinois and is comprised of the Illinois House of Representatives and the Illinois Senate. The General Assembly passed 30 Illinois Compound Statute 559, also referred to as the Illinois Works Job Program Act, on June 28, 2019, through the Illinois Jobs Program Act, and the General Assembly appropriated funds for the pre-apprenticeship program. Capital project funding was appropriated by Rebuild Illinois. Next slide, please. And the Illinois Works Job Program Act is a statewide initiative to ensure that all Illinois residents have access to state capital projects and careers, including in the construction industry and building trades. Now, the goal is to provide contracting and employment opportunities to historically underrepresented populations in the construction industry and the trades. Next slide, please. And, I did just mention in the previous slide before this one about the General Assembly, you can access the Illinois Job Program Act from the General Assembly's website. It will be in the chat as well. So this is where you can find the actual act on the General Assembly website. Next slide, please. Now, the goal is for the Illinois Works Job Program, the goal is to expand apprenticeship opportunities with a targeted focus on underrepresented populations, specifically women, people of color, and veterans. An expansion of apprenticeship opportunities will not only help boost employment and wages for more Illinois residents, but will also yield significant benefits for economy at large, since the sector is projected to grow 12% in the next 10 years. Next slide, please. On average, jobs in the construction sector pay $18 per hour to apprentices enrolled in a DOL registered apprenticeship program, and $32 per hour to those that successfully graduate and achieve journey worker status. Investments in job training in the construction industry also result in significant long-term economic impact for the state, totaling $1.2 billion. In fact, for every dollar invested in construction job training, Illinois obtains $11 in social and economic returns. All right. Now, to reinvigorate the workforce, the intention is to reinvigorate the workforce in Illinois for the future. This exciting initiative will create opportunities for Illinois businesses, communities, and families. So next slide, please. All right. So right here, we do have a Mentimeter question here. So if we'll use the Mentimeter again. So how do apprenticeships programs impact individuals, families, communities, and businesses? So you should see it in your multimedia viewer. If not, the link was provided again in the chat by Olivia. Thank you very much, Olivia. So let's look at that Mentimeter if there are any responses. How do apprenticeships programs impact individuals, family, communities, and businesses? All right, we're already getting a good amount of answers. So support individuals, yes, absolutely. So socioeconomic mobility, absolutely. Create meaningful careers, absolutely. Career stability, creating equity, enrich communities, yes, absolutely. Prosperity, financial stability, support individuals, personal development. Um, all great answers. Better income bracket, create financial freedom, retain emerging talent. So as we can see by all the responses, it's all positive things that not only impact the individual but the community at large and the state as a whole. So all great things for apprenticeship programs and how they impact not only individuals, their families, communities, and also the businesses. So this is a great program. Reminds us of why we do the work that we do with the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program. Thank you very much all for answering. We can go to the next slide, Shiba. All right, so before we move to the next section, are there any questions related to what we just went over? If so, you can unmute yourself or put it in the chat.
There are currently no questions in the chat.
All right, thank you, Olivia. So we can move on to the next section. So on Module 4, we'll talk about the Illinois Works programs, and by the end, you should be able to list the 3 key Illinois Works job programs that together create a unique and innovative 3-prong workforce development model that we just went over, and describe each of the DCO Office of Illinois Works programs, which includes the Illinois Works Apprenticeship Initiative, the Pre-Apprenticeship Program, and the Big Credit Program. And lastly, describe the role of the Illinois Works Career Services team. Next slide, please. All right, so as I mentioned, the Illinois Works Job Program Act outlines 3 key programs within Illinois Works. So the Apprenticeship Initiative, the Pre-Apprenticeship Program, and the Big Credit Program. We're going to review each of these in more detail. Next slide, please. So the first one is the Apprenticeship Initiative. So this program opens door of opportunity in the construction industry and the building trades. It applies to public works projects with an estimated cost of $500,000 or more, which includes capital grants, loans, and direct capital contracts and awards. So the Apprenticeship Initiative, it creates that job demand. Next slide, please. Now, for the summary of the initiative, for applicable projects, the goal is for the U.S. Department of Labor certified apprentices, not limited to pre-apprentice program graduates, to perform at least 10% of total labor hours actually worked in each prevailing wage category, or 10% of estimated labor hours in each prevailing wage category, whichever is less. So in summary, the goal is for U.S. Department of Labor certified apprentices, not limited to pre-apprentice program graduates, to perform 10% of total labor hours actually worked in each prevailing wage category, or 10% of the estimated labor hours in each prevailing wage category, whichever is less. Of the 10% goal, or 5% of each wage classification must be performed by Illinois Works, Climate Works, or Highway Construction Careers Programs graduate. So by having an established goal, contractors generally find themselves in need to hire more apprentices, resulting in higher demand for apprentices. All right, just going to connect my charger. All right, so the Apprenticeship Initiative launched in June of 2020, and as of December 2025, so a few months ago, the Apprenticeship Initiative was overseeing the implementation of over 1,000 projects that are worth over $6.5 billion. The Apprenticeship Initiative uses real-time reporting that utilizes the Smart Sheet technology.
It looks like we're having some technical difficulties at this moment. And as Edwin prepares to get back online, we'll continue with the presentation. Can you go back one slide, Shiva? Thank you. This one is on the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program. The next DCEO, Office of Illinois Works key programs we will review is the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program. Next slide, please. The Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program, which is our talent pipeline initiative, creates the demands for jobs the apprenticeship initiative creates the demands for jobs, and the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program creates the pipeline for the diverse candidates to help respond to that demand. Next slide. The Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program, or Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program, creates a qualified talent pipeline to fill job opportunities with diverse candidates. The Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program launched in 2022 with 23 programs, and this year the network will contain up to 42 providers delivering services throughout the state of Illinois. Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program has 5 different models that are operational and being actively evaluated to determine how the program can best support different workforce development organizations to bring about equity in construction and the building trades. Next slide, please. In summary, the program delivers pre-apprenticeship skills training through a network of community-based organizations, including community colleges, faith-based organizations, and business associations, among others. It gives preference to underrepresented populations that have historically encountered barriers to entry or advancement in the trades, including minorities, women, and veterans. Participants of the program attend tuition-free and receive a stipend and other supportive services to help address systemic barriers which prevent them from entering and succeeding in the construction industry and the trades. $25 million is appropriated annually for the grant program. Next slide, please. Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship current status. For the program year of 2026, up to 42 grantees across the state of Illinois received an approximate of $20.5 million investments. The average award is over $500,000. Our present network of providers has capacity to serve approximately 1,900 to 2,000 Illinois residents in all economic development regions of the state of Illinois. Of the 42 grantees, 14 have been with the program since the first year. Another 15 are coming back for their second or third year, and 13 of them are new grantees who were invited to join the network for the 2026 program year. Next slide, please. Introduction to IWRS. The Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program is committed to leveraging technology for the continuous program improvement. This includes the Illinois Works Reporting System, or what we would call IWRS, and I've even heard it called IWRS as a new term. The Office of Illinois Works, in partnership with the Southern Illinois University Center for Workforce Development, designed the Illinois Works Reporting System, or IWRS. The system was launched in February of 2022. Due to the custom design, IWRS allows grantees to track pre-apprenticeship program inquiries, participants, and grantee partnerships. This system also allows programs to track key information about participants' progress throughout their engagement with the program, including their application, enrollment announcements, career and support service assessments, enrollment and training modules, attendance, and training completion. IWRS data is used for program compliance, reimbursement, and the longitudinal study. IWRS is the definitive source for program data. It is critical that your organization prioritize IWRS data entry. If it is not in IWRS, guess what? It did not happen. That is our model. So your onboarding schedule includes IWRS training. To register appropriate staff for onboarding sessions, a link is being provided for you in the chat. You'll be able to see all the sessions being offered along with the registration link for each. Thank you for sharing the link, Olivia. Next, we'll talk about the pre-apprenticeship life cycle. The Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship program requirements are organized in the pre-apprenticeship life cycle. The pre-apprenticeship life cycle outlines the steps that participants take as they move through the pre-apprenticeship program. It tracks participants' progress from the initial program outreach to the post-transition follow-up. Each stage demonstrates an integral step in preparing participants to enroll in a Construction Department of Labor Registered Apprenticeship Program, which we call a RAP. And I'm going to stop here, and I think I see Edwin back on. So Edwin, you can go ahead and pick up where I just completed.
Yes. Thank you, Carlita, for covering for me. Apologies to everyone. My laptop decided to freeze on me for some reason, but I'm back, so I appreciate that. And thankfully, we have a great team. I was able to continue the presentation without any interruptions. So you can move to the next slide, please, Shiba. All right, so so we'll look at the current enrollment per underrepresented group. So as of December 31st, 2025, the far right column of the table displays the representation of underrepresented groups currently enrolled in the Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship program. Now, given the current trends, Illinois Works is well positioned to impact equity in the construction in the building trades in Illinois by decisively reaching out to, recruiting, training, graduating, and most importantly, transitioning key target underrepresented populations, which again are women, minorities, and veterans. Next slide, please. Okay, so we'll talk about the heat map as well. The Illinois Works heat map is one of the many tools that Illinois Works is making available to its grantees to support their success. This technology provides an overview of statewide demographic data, the Illinois Works project data, as well as the location and central information of all Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship programs and DOL registered apprenticeship programs. Grantees can access information regarding the Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship program, the concentration of underrepresented populations, economic development regions, Illinois Works projects by counties, and of critical importance, DOL registered apprenticeship training program. So this map is utilized both by the pre-apprenticeship program and the apprenticeship initiative team to connect the public with local training program, as well as contractors with apprentices. And the map is coloring demonstrates a number of Illinois Works projects happening in each county, with a dark pink symbolizing a high concentration and the darker teal representing a lower concentration. The red circles on the heat map represent a concentration of underrepresented populations as outlined in the Illinois Works Program Job Act, which again includes women, individuals of color, and veterans. The blue squares represent DOL registered apprenticeship programs, and the yellow stars represent the Illinois Works funded pre-apprenticeship programs. We are providing a link to the heat map in the chat. So scroll to the bottom of the page, just select view larger map, and you'll be able to see it. I do want to add a footnote on the heat map that it will be updated later on. It should be updated at some point later on this year once we do finish onboarding with all the with all the grantees for this year. We asked for the grant manager start asking for information on who to have as a contact information in your organization's website. So you'll talk about that more with your grant manager, but the heat map is going to get updated just for reference. Next slide, please. So the Illinois Works Big Credit Program, we'll talk about that, which is the third DCO office of Illinois Works, and the third program is the Big Credit. Next slide, please. Now, the big credit is that it's that piece of the puzzle there, the incentive to hire and retain. So we went over the job demand with the apprenticeship initiative, the talent pipeline with the pre-apprenticeship, and now we're on the third piece of the puzzle, which is the big credit, that incentive to hire and retain. Next, I'm sorry, go to a previous slide, Shiv, I'm sorry. So the apprenticeship initiative creates a demand for jobs. I was mentioning the pre-apprenticeship creates a pipeline, and creates a pipeline of diverse candidates to help respond to demand. And to complete the puzzle, we have created incentives to help ensure that Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship programs are hired and retained by contractors and subcontractors. Next slide, please. So the Illinois Works Bid Credit Program incentivizes contractors to hire and retain a diverse pool of candidates. It allows contractors and subcontractors to earn bid credits by employing apprentices who have completed the Illinois
Okay,
Works
Tommy, I'm trying.
pre-apprenticeship program. Bid credits can be used towards future bids for public works projects funded by the state of Illinois or contracted by an agency of the state. Next slide, please. So in summary, the Illinois Works Bid Credit Program allows contractors to earn bid credits for future use towards future bids for public works projects contracted by state or agency of the state. Bid credits can only be earned for employing apprentices who have completed the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program on any project, whether it's public or private. DCO determines the bid credit earning rate by rule based on labor hours worked on state contracted public works project by apprentices who completed the pre-apprenticeship program. This rate is published and may include maximum bid credits allowed per contractor, per subcontractor, per apprentice, per bid, or per year. And the Illinois Works Bid Credit Program, the Bid Credit Bank, was also established and administered by DCO. DCO also developed a smart sheet platform for tracking the bid credits for participating contractors and the Illinois Works graduates they employ. Next slide, please. All right, so the Big Credit Program's current status. So the Big Credit Program's rules were approved on May 7th, 2025. However, the Big Credit Program team has been attending events across the state to outreach the program since the fall of 2023. Currently, contractors and subcontractors can enroll in the program and open Big Credit Program accounts. On a monthly basis, the Big Credit Program team provides an informational webinar and technical assistance sessions on the advantages of the Big Credit Program and how to use the platform. As of now, close to 150 contractors located throughout the state have joined the program. Now, keep in mind that each new contractor means at least one new job for the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program graduates, as contractors can only earn big credits if they hire at least one of our graduates. Next slide, please. All right, so we went over the three programs. So the Apprenticeship Initiative, Pre-Apprenticeship Program, and the Big Credit Program. And what holds all those pieces together is the Career Services team. So Career Services is where your graduates and contractors' jobs come together. The Career Services connects all those three Illinois Works programs, offering Illinois Works grantees the opportunity to add their graduates to a candidate pool for contractors and employers seeking to hire or sponsor apprentices. Now, the Illinois Works Services team enables contractors to connect with qualified Illinois Works peer apprentices with the aim of hiring them as apprentices in DOL registered apprenticeship programs on their jobs. In the beginning, we do expect them to come to Illinois Works Career Services in order to fulfill their obligations under the 10% rule or to be able to apply for big credits through the Big Credit Program. It is our hope that eventually they are coming to Career Services because your pre-apprenticeship graduates are the best workers out there and they are competing to hire them. New for this year, all Illinois Works grantees must hold at least one career or job fair annually for program graduates. The career job fair must be in partnership with the Illinois Works Career Services team. The purpose of this career job fair is to further engage Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship graduates with career services, employers and contractors, and DOL registered apprenticeship programs to open doors of opportunity for program graduates. Illinois Works Career Services will also run 3 regional career and job fairs that grantees will be required to join in the coordination of the event. The career and job fairs are key to ensuring we meet program outcomes and are part of a strategic focus of the outcomes for Illinois programs this year. Next slide, please. All right. So here's how it works. So contractors need to comply with 10% of the apprenticeship goal or who are interested in earning big credits. Reach out to the career services to look for qualified candidates to hire and sponsor into DO registered apprenticeship program. When a job becomes available, a contractor who wishes to hire an Illinois Works graduate completes a job order request. When their request has been processed, the Career Services team identifies all Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship programs or candidates who meet the contractor's criteria. It does so using a custom database called the Career Pathways Management System, CPMP. Once a list has been generated, a unique job vacancy, an application link is sent to grantees responsible for those candidates. Grantees are responsible for working with their candidates to complete the application. A current or most up-to-date resume must be uploaded with the submission. I would like to reiterate here that grantees are responsible for keeping their graduates' information current in IWRS. That is highly important because that is where the CPMP platform will look for job matching if not enough applicants apply for this job. Illinois Works will provide training on the Career Pathways Management Platform System, CPMP, later on in the grant year. To see the professional development schedule and register for the training on the Illinois Works Partner Guide. The link to the Partner Guide is also going to be available for you in the chat. Next slide, please. All right, I would like to highlight a little bit more about the CPMP, the Career Pathway Management System. The CPMP facilitates job matching, again, by tracing the professional qualification and trajectory of Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship program graduates and being the place for contractors to seek Illinois Works program pre-apprenticeship program graduates. It is a platform where jobs with employers who are interested in Illinois Work program graduates are advertised, and that enables fast and accurate matching and communication that enables your graduates to apply for the right jobs for them. However, the system is only as good as the data in it. That is why it is important to keep the graduate information correct. Again, as mentioned before, we will provide training on this platform later on the grant year. Please see the partner guide for specific schedules of all the training available, including the CPMP training. Next slide, please. All right, so before we move on to the next section, the next module, are there any questions over what we went over on this section? I know there was a lot of information. Any questions? If so, feel free to put them in the chat or unmute yourself.
There are currently no questions in the chat.
All right, thanks, Olivia. So we can move to the next section, and the next section, my colleague Monica will present to you all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Edwin. So at the end of Modular 5, which is Program Culture, you'll be able to list the 6 Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program core values, incorporate recommended tools to measure the utilization of the core values, articulate the impact of an equity focus on Illinois Works program goals, and infuse diversity, inclusion, belonging, and equity into your program's culture. Each of the program's elements and each phase of the pre-apprentice participant life cycle. So again, let's move on to program culture. Next slide, please, Shiva. And we're going to start with a Mentimeter question. So the question, how does your organization define program culture? And I believe that link has been added back to the chat just in case you logged out of Mentimeter. But how does your organization define program culture? Values-driven environment, respect and belonging, transition, internal success, readiness, support, accountability, connections, compassion, inclusive, pathways, equitable, belonging, professional, social norms, collaboration again, compassionate, trust. All of these are fantastic. Resilience, equity, trust, continuity of service, professionalism, respect and belonging,
Okay, I can just log off here because that's all of the things that I'm going to talk about in just the next few minutes. So thank you all for collaboration, partnerships. Thank you all so much for your answers. That's exactly what we're talking about. Someone added to the chat a process that leads to a positive outcome for our participants. And that's exactly what we're here for, positive outcomes for your participants. So thank you, everyone. Shiva, if you would move on to the next slide, please. Those were some terrific answers. All right. So a program's culture refers to a program's environment. For our purposes, it is the pattern of beliefs, values, rituals, relationships, and practices shared by the Office of Illinois Works program grantees, and pre-apprenticeship participants. The program culture is key to effective service delivery and participant outcomes. There are 4 core components to the Illinois Works program culture. Those are honoring the program core values, tools to measure cultural elements, understanding the impact of Illinois Works equity focus, and incorporating diversity, inclusion, belonging, and equity, or DIBE. Each of these should be incorporated throughout the program from the initial contact with each participant, emphasized during training, and then reinforced while transitioning participants into apprenticeship programs and employment. So let's answer another Mentimeter question before we talk about each of these values in detail. So the next Mentimeter question: what elements or characteristics do you think creates a positive and impactful pre-apprenticeship program culture? And I already see non-judgmental, caring, dedication, a solid transitional team, passionate instructors, trained instructors, transparency, support, trained instructors, real-world relevance, dedication, clarity, caring, understanding of barriers, passionate instructors, what else do we have here? Transparency, authenticity, understanding of barriers again, empathy, consistency, support. Consistency, that's a huge one. Impactful care, understanding of barriers, trained instructors. Those are all great. Thank you all so much for your responding and for your participation. So let's get started with the first one. On our next slide, we're going to talk about honoring the program core values. So Illinois Works identified 6 program core values that are central to creating a positive and impactful program culture. Program core values are the fundamental, Shiva, let's see if you can go to the next slide, please. There we go, thank you. Program core values are the fundamental ethics and principles grantees are expected to incorporate throughout each phase of the pre-apprentice life cycle. They should serve as a guiding light for behavior and decision-making within the program. Each of these core values are intended to inspire and constrain actions to ensure the program maintains the highest ethics and principles and remains focused on bringing equity and inclusion to construction and the trades. So let's talk about overcoming barriers. The foundation of the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program is ensuring equitable access and opportunities to historically underrepresented populations. Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program graduates should focus on building an environment that eliminates or reduces the impact of structural barriers facing participants and celebrates cultural and ethnic differences. We want to empower for resilience and self-sufficiency. Program design and implementation should focus on how participants will complete the program successfully, but also on teaching participants long-term skills that will allow them to build resilience, become self-sufficient, and secure a long-term career. We should talk about impact through outcomes. People in programs grow when goals are set and outcomes are measured. Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program graduates Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program grantees are expected to track program and participant metrics and make adjustments to cultivate further success or strengthen weak points. While outcomes are fueled by metrics, it is important to remember that outcomes also measure your program's impact and the difference you are making in the lives of participants. It is a measure of your organization and program mission, not simply a number. 4, innovate persistently. Ongoing progress and adaptation allow for long-term success. This value focuses on helping the program and participants develop a drive to continue acquiring and strengthening skills. We want to build a community of collaboration. Successful learning is rooted in a safe, welcoming, and collaborative environment. The Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program should develop an environment that promotes respect for all participants and staff, practices open and empathic listening, and attends to the lived experience of all participants. And last, we want to maximize differences. Diversity, inclusion, belonging, and equity is more than meeting certain metrics. It is ensuring that each participant feels they belong in the classroom, that their voice is heard, and that their contributions are valued. Next slide, please. Each of the program core values is rooted in the ultimate goal of the pre-apprentice program, bringing about diversity, belonging, inclusion, and equity in the construction and building trades. We will talk more about diversity, belonging, inclusion, and equity shortly. So now we're going to cover tools to measure culture. Honoring the program core values, let us move to the second component, tools to measure cultural elements. Next slide, please. Yeah. One more, please. Okay. So the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program 2026 Grantee Manual offers the following regarding core values. Grantees can utilize measurement tools, investigate evidence-based practices, and or facilitate a working session. The first measure that we're going to talk about, or the first of the core values, is measurement tools and how we're going to measure core values. Having core values is great. However, how can you be assured that your program staff and instructors are performing in a way that conforms to those values? How do you know which components of your program are hitting the mark and which require improvement? In the words of W. Clement Stone, don't expect what you don't inspect. You must proactively inspect your program's performance. You must measure. Measuring cultural elements can be difficult, but it is possible. The Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program 2026 Grantee Manual provides a Table 2 Cultural Strategies Measurement Matrix on page 39, which makes recommendations for measuring the core values. So as soon as you have that document available, please make reference to page 39. We're going to go to another Mentimeter question. Which Illinois Works core value is currently a part of your program's culture, and how do you demonstrate that? Which of the core values is currently a part of your program's culture, and how do you demonstrate them? Do we need to go back and talk about those core values? Overcoming barriers, empower for resilience and self-sufficiency, impact through outcomes, innovate persistently, build a community of collaboration, and maximize differences. I see equity. We demonstrate it by meeting participants where they are, providing individualized support, removing barriers to access, and ensuring everyone has a fair opportunity to succeed. Accountability, impact through outcomes, clear goals, and Not sure what that last word is. Okay, professionalism, courtesy, barrier breakers, relationship building, inclusion, and belonging. Fantastic. We'll give you just a second, just in case someone is still typing. Okay. Those are great. Building a community. There are many individuals and CBOs that are working together to offer our residents a successful path forward. Belonging. Everyone is welcome and treated equally. Collaboration is demonstrated through working as a team throughout each part of the program and partnering with the participants. Fantastic. Those are all great. Again, thank you all so much for your participation. Okay. Create wraparound services to support the participants. Absolutely, that's certainly a requirement of our program. Transparency and inclusion, accountability, these help build structure and give clear direction. Building relationships. We emphasize a culture of high standards for both our team and our participants to ensure we are viewed as a premier workforce destination. I love that. Sounds like somewhere you want to visit, a premier workforce destination. And they also create wraparound services to support participants. I see that in the chat. So again, thank you very much. Thank you for your participation. Shiva, let's move on to the next slide, please. Okay. Give me just a moment here. Okay. The next slide should say program culture. Okay. Okay, and so the first value we're going to talk about is overcoming barriers. The wraparound service assessment is one way that we attempt to help overcome barriers. As the wraparound service coordinator, you should review wraparound service data to identify additional partners that provide service that grantee organizations do not have the capacity to offer. Wraparound service needs are assessed through the wraparound service assessment available in the Illinois Works Reporting System, or IWRS. Each participant must manually fill out the wraparound service assessment using the form provided as Exhibit 22 of the 2026 Grantee Manual. A scanned copy of the assessment must then be uploaded to IWRS using the link provided in IWRS by the grantee. Responses electronically selected in IWRS must match responses provided on the paper copy. And always, participants can opt in or opt out of wraparound services at any given point throughout their participation in the program. Using the chat, identify what information might you be able to gather from a participant satisfaction survey that might help inform your pre-apprenticeship program. Now we're going to talk a little bit about participant satisfaction surveys. So if you would add to the chat, what information might you be able to gather from a participant satisfaction survey that might help inform your pre-apprenticeship program? How satisfied they are with the program? Absolutely. Areas for growth? Absolutely. What else can you get from a satisfaction survey?
Okay. I think they Cloroxes. I don't think they Lysols. Okay.
Maybe unless you're responding to the question, if everybody could be on mute, please, I greatly appreciate that. Thanks, Tracy. Ways to improve culture. Yes, absolutely. Changes that may be needed. That's definitely one thing that we use the participation satisfaction survey for. Any others? And again, while we're waiting, if everyone could please mute themselves. Behavioral assessments, teamwork and communication skills, and also the effectiveness of trainers. And we're finding that trainers are so very, very important to this process. Improving value of client. Okay, thank you, Kelvin. Just a few more minutes, a few more seconds. What else can we get from the participation satisfaction survey? Supportive services beyond graduation. Yeah, what might they need? Reasonableness of stipends and supportive services. Okay. Attendance and retention, program evaluation, and process improvement. Yes. Okay. Those are fantastic. Certainly feel free to continue to add those. But in the meantime, just know that these surveys can help grantees identify what barriers their participants are facing, their perspectives on how the program was able to address those barriers, as well as information on how to restructure their program moving forward. So in the near future, you will receive from your assigned grant manager a link to the 2026 Participant Satisfaction Survey that will be provided to all grantees by their grant manager. Throughout the year, the grantee will then provide the link to all participants who successfully complete the program. They must fill out these surveys before the last day of class to ensure that they are collected as required. Okay. So the next core value is empower for resilience and self-sufficiency. Again, we're going to talk a little bit about wraparound service assessments. This assessment can also act as a foundation for long-term planning for participants who may have needs beyond the program. While grantees are now responsible for wraparound services beyond the program, grantees may seek to help students address these issues through alternate programs or develop plans that extend beyond graduation. Innovating persistently is the next core value. Okay, and that includes a program improvement plan. Using the chat, identify how a program improvement plan might inform your ability to innovate persistently. How can your program improvement plan help inform your ability to innovate persistently? And please add those to the chat. With a continuous feedback loop, you can update plans in real time. You can establish leading metrics for evaluation, set goals and allows you to work on them in real time, provides a guide to measure improvement. Absolutely. Exactly the reason for a program improvement plan. Are there others? A program improvement plan can enhance or remove training elements as they relate to the needs of students and business partners. Guidelines for staff meetings to ensure we are on track. We're assessing what's working and what's not, always tweaking processes and implementation. Open lines of communication, yes, absolutely. All of those are a great use of the program improvement plan. Are there any more? It can assist us with program sustainability. Absolutely. We want our programs to be around for a very long time. These tools can also help you review your overall program data as well as participant-specific data. This data can be used to evaluate and improve key areas that might require additional creativity and innovation to effectively respond. And again, I saw the very last one there, or last two, ensuring sustainable development and hold teams accountable as well as to deliver outcomes. So thank you for answering that question. The next one we're going to talk about is the impact through outcomes. And that includes the orientation and pre-transition career assessment, which are for setting goals and creating plans to achieve them, which increases the likelihood of success for participants. These career plans, in combination with participant progress reports, can help participants track movement, can help participants track movement towards their goals. Okay, we mentioned the program improvement plan before, but in addition to being a tool utilized to help programs improve performance, these can also demonstrate the impact the grantee made in the previous year. This information can be used for their grantee annual reports and newsletters. So I think it has probably been mentioned that each year Illinois Works is required to distribute an annual report for each of our grantees. So again, a lot of times the information that you provide through those evaluations are useful to us as we prepare your annual reports. There's monthly compliance progress reports. These can be used in preparation for your monthly program review with the Illinois Works grant manager to verify process. And of course, that data drives the data from IWRS drives the monthly compliance report. So it's always going to be very important that all of the information that's provided in IWRS is as accurate and as complete as possible. The next core value is to build a community of collaboration. That includes non-discrimination, harassment, and bullying complaint forms and logs. A high number of complaints might be a warning sign. Ensuring participants feel safe and that their concerns will be taken seriously is a key component in developing a collaborative environment. Let's talk about the participant satisfaction survey again. Satisfaction surveys provide a space for participants to rate the program on critical components such as offering support for target populations, empathetic listening, and ensuring instructors and program staff are trained in key areas like trauma-informed and gender-informed services. There is a Kirkpatrick Level 1 evaluation that can help measure satisfaction. And I think an example of the Kirkpatrick Level 1 evaluation is included in the 2026 Grantee Manual. And again, that manual should be available to you in the following days. The last core value is to maximize differences. So we have a standardized interview process. The wealth of information that can be gathered from these one-on-one interviews can be extremely helpful in program planning and helping connect students to one another, alumni, and apprenticeships. The standardized interview takes place at the beginning of the program. However, there are sometimes participants who don't actually finish our program, and in that case, we perform an exit interview. So similar to the standardized interview, these one-on-one confidential meetings can offer vital information about if and how well the program maximized differences and created a culture of inclusion and belonging. These interviews are only for those participants who do not successfully complete the program. And just understand that negative exit interviews can act as a foundation for program improvement plans. And the exit interview questionnaire is Exhibit 1 in the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program Manual. Another Mentimeter question. So if you'd log back into Mentimeter, please. Let's talk about what tools do you plan to use to measure how well the core values are incorporated into your pre-apprenticeship program? What tools do you plan to use to measure how well the core values are incorporated into your pre-apprenticeship program? And I see here surveys, keeping an eye on engagement, attendance, participant surveys, mentor feedback, and weekly reflection, check-ins to track how core values show up in behavior, teamwork, and accountability, process improvement evaluation, mirroring cultural improvements when staff behavior matches expectations set for participants, consistency, support, communication, and accountability, compassion. We plan to use participant surveys, feedback sessions, staff reflections, attendance and retention data, and outcome tracking to assess how consistently our core values are reflected in practice. When they refer the program family and when they refer to the program, I'm assuming family and friends, surveys help before, during, and after the program. Participant feedback via survey attendance. If you can scroll down a little bit, I see surveys again, transition rate, regular feedback from trainees and evaluations, weekly meeting surveys during and after the course, old school, sitting in classrooms and observing, yes. Being present and cultivating relationships with participants, a program improvement plan where we can help identify where the program excelled and areas of opportunity. The exit plan will help us understand how the program impacted each individual. Surveys and interviews, assessments by tracking on-the-spot hires and candidates for follow-up. Attendance and reflection on how they feel about the program. I see attendance again. Short weekly pulse check surveys allowing participants to reflect on how program values show up in the learning interactions and work habits. Communication between teams to understand rooms of improvement. Surveys, staff assistance, regular communication, and allow participants access to upper staff to discuss issues in person and also one-on-one. So those are all fantastic tools that you can use. Again, communication between teams and understand room for improvement. Okay. Thank you. I think I got all of those. Thank you all. Nice job. I really appreciate your responses. Shiva, if you would go to the Illinois Works Equity Focus slide next. Okay. Thank you. And yes, the third program culture core element is understanding the impact of Illinois Works Equity Focus. And Illinois Works Equity Focus is the next component of the program's culture. Equity Focus requires grantees to demonstrate their understanding of how race, ethnicity, and gender impact individual access to and experience within a construction and building trade pre-apprenticeship program. Having a clear understanding of the challenges relative to equity allows your program to best respond. Next slide. Data shows that the construction industry, as well as the trades, have not been accessible for many diverse groups, resulting in fewer than 10% of apprenticeships being extended to women and minority groups in many of the higher paid trade jobs. Go back to Mentimeter for another question. What might be some factors that impact equity in construction in the building trades? Education, access to resources, cost of living. What might be some other factors that impact equity? Distribution of work, yes. Education, distribution of work, racism, cost of living, access to resources, cost of tools, transportation, unequal access, knowledge of opportunities. Yes, that's a great one. Outreach, education, racism, classism, sexism, transportation, access to resources, housing, education, location of projects, tutoring assistance. Yes. Outreach, access, again, knowledge, justice involved. That's a big population. Tutoring assistance, knowledge of opportunities, distribution of work, your awareness, unequal access, systemic barriers. Yes. Nice job. Thank you all for your responses. Lack of daycare. That one's in the chat. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fortunately, that's something we can help with through wraparound services. So thank you all for participating. So let's talk about the factors that impact equity. And I think the next slide has a list that we're going to go over. Factors that impact equity. They may include race and ethnicity biases, gender biases, negative perceptions regarding women working in the construction or building trades, knowledge regarding occupational opportunities within construction and the building trades, equal access to opportunities for training, and hostile or unwelcoming workplace environment or culture. Next slide. So here's what we know. Many of you are in this work because you understand the relevant issues and the importance of diversity, belonging, inclusion, and equity with respect to underrepresented groups in construction and the building trades. However, ensuring underrepresented groups can successfully enter occupations in construction and the trades is not just about benevolence or doing the right thing. It's also smart business. As you engage businesses and potential partners to support your program support services, wraparound services, and transition services, it may be necessary for you to make the business case, not just the ethics case. According to research by McKinsey & Company, gender and ethnic or cultural diversity continues to demonstrate a statistically significant correlation with financial performance. Diverse companies experience improved customer orientation, employee satisfaction, and decision-making. Companies performing at the highest levels of success have all developed inclusion and diversity strategies for which they are strongly committed. Closing the gender gap could add up to $28 trillion to the annual GDP by 2025. Moreover, companies in the top quarter for ethnic and racial diversity at the management levels were 35% more likely to experience financial returns above their industry's average. Also, construction is experiencing a significant exodus of skilled labor due to the retiring of the baby boomers and people migrating out of Illinois. Underrepresented populations can effectively fill these gaps. Including underrepresented groups allows companies to have access to the totality of the available intellectual capital in Illinois. Companies that take advantage of the intellectual capital available to them will also experience benefits. Improving opportunities for underrepresented groups is a win-win strategy. Okay, so let's talk about the critical role you play. Next slide. Absolutely. Okay, the demand for construction workers creates a window of opportunity to increase underrepresented groups' access to jobs in the construction industry and the building trades. Illinois Works' 3 key programs maximize this opportunity by creating the demand for jobs, creating a pipeline of diverse candidates to help respond to the demand, and providing incentives to help ensure program graduates are hired and retained by contractors and subcontractors. You serve a critical role in helping fulfill this mission by implementing programs and services that remove barriers, create a welcoming environment, and ensure underrepresented groups can successfully enter occupations within construction and the building trades. Next slide. The last component of the program's culture is DIBE, diversity, inclusion, belonging, and equity. Just a moment. Successful implementation of the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program integrates diversity, inclusion, belonging, and equity with the goal of fostering an environment that allows individuals to feel safe, participate fully, develop professionally, and reach their fullest potential. DIBE, in conjunction with all 6 of the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program core values, should be woven into all aspects of Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship programs. Okay, so of the 4 DIBE, we're going to start with diversity. Diversity is a successful pre-apprenticeship program helps create a talented, qualified pipeline to fill job opportunities in construction and the building trades with diverse candidates for underrepresented groups. Diversity is defined as the ways in which people differ, encompassing specific characteristics that may include, but not limited to, race, ethnicity, gender, age, national origin, religion, disability, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, education, marital status, language, and physical appearance. The Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program specifically targets the following diverse groups: women, people of color, and veterans. Diversity is a critical component, but it's incomplete. Access is also a critical first step. An effort to increase diversity helps ensure that individuals from underrepresented groups are in the room. Once they are in the room, the goal is to help ensure they do not leave. This requires a focus on inclusion. So inclusion, next slide, is an environment in which individuals are treated fairly, they're respected, they have equal access to resources and opportunities. A focus on inclusion ensures participants can fully participate and contribute. While state and federal laws, as well as Illinois Works, require diversity, inclusion is a choice and must be proactively pursued. If they choose to stay in the room, we must have an environment that is conducive for success. This also requires a focus on belonging. Belonging is when participants are able to bring their authentic selves into the pre-apprenticeship training rooms and work sites. Belonging ensures participants feel valued, allows them to develop positive connections, enhances their sense of well-being, and encourages them to maximize their fullest potential. The need to belong is fundamental to the human experience. And of course, most of us are familiar with diversity and inclusion, but belonging in this context may be new. If the concept is new, just understand that belonging in the workplace impacts an individual's emotions, cognition, sense of self, self-efficacy, self-esteem, and ultimately their performance. When a person's perception of themselves is different from how they are being treated, or even the nonverbal messages they receive from their environment, this can create a negative experience. Belonging mitigates the conflict between who an individual knows themselves to be and how their immediate environment can make them feel. Grantees need to take positive actions that make participants feel they belong in the program. When participants feel like they belong, their voices are being heard, their contributions are valued, and differences are acknowledged and affirmed, those people want to stay in the room. If participants feel they are not being represented in the learning process, their willingness to engage in educational risk-taking is minimized at best and stops at worst. Establishing an environment where participants incorporate their own knowledge and experiences has been shown to foster critical thought, educational risk-taking, and success. And so last, we're going to talk about equity. The word equity appears twice when addressing program culture. We initially addressed the importance of having an equity focus. Having an equity focus requires program staff to understand how race, ethnicity, and gender impact their experience within the construction and building trade pre-apprenticeship program. Having an understanding is only half the battle. We now need to put that understanding into action. Equity, along with diversity, belonging, and inclusion, create an environment where participants feel safe, can be fully engaged, and develop professionally. It is important to note that diversity alone does not guarantee equity. The goal of diversity is to ensure that underrepresented groups are in the room. Inclusion and belonging helps keep them in the room and cultivate an environment for success. Whereas equity advocates for everyone receiving the same thing, equity recognizes that each person has different needs, presents with different circumstances, and receives resources and opportunities based on these unique needs. Equity levels the playing field. Okay. Let's talk about our professional development opportunities. To maximize the impact and effectiveness of diversity, inclusion, belonging, and equity efforts, and to help ensure compliance with Illinois Works mandates, Illinois Works will provide technical assistance and training related to the following topics: DIBE, which is, of course, diversity, inclusion, belonging, and equity, and also understanding barriers to employment in the construction industry. More information related to upcoming trainings can be found on the Illinois Works Partner Guide website and will also be included as a schedule in the on the 2026 Professional Development Grantee schedule. DIBE. Okay. Successful programs require diversity, belonging, inclusion, and equity. Each of these should be infused throughout the entire pre-apprentice life cycle, and you have all become familiar with that graphic at this point. Okay. So before we move on to the next section, are there any questions about program culture or DIBE? Any questions at all?
There are currently no questions in the chat.
That is fantastic. And so I will turn the mic over to my colleague, Shariana. Thank you all.
And so before we go into that section, we will take a 5-minute break. We'll stop at 11:05 and we'll come back in 5 minutes. Thank you all.
Welcome back, everyone. Shiva, can you go 2 slides ahead, please? Thank you. So I just want to make sure that we have everyone back in the room. Can you give me a reaction or a hand clap or something like that so I know you're here? Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Elena. Thank you, Gia, Nadia, Kashmir, Tracy, Hannah, Dave. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You can also put something in the chat, Lynette, Karis, Cassandra. Thank you. Okay, I feel like people are here. So we are moving on to Module 6, which is legal implications and the pre-apprentice life cycle. And by the end of this module, you'll be able to avoid potential legal consequences by implementing a comprehensive anti-discrimination, harassment, and bullying policy, and develop a reporting and routing process. And you'll also be able to identify each phase in the pre-apprentice life cycle. Does anyone have questions about the information that will be covered in this module?
There are currently no questions in the chat.
Okay, next slide. Oh, I'm sorry, go back. I had something different here. So in section 2, program culture, you'll also find legal implications. Affecting program cultures are free of discrimination, harassment, bullying, or any other emotional or physical harm. Not only are these behaviors unethical, but many have legal implications. Next slide, please. We're going to take a look at each of these definitions. Discrimination is defined as bias or prejudice resulting in denial of opportunity or unfair treatment when hiring, creating, or applying policies, training, promoting, firing, or laying off employees, or in any other terms and conditions of employment or program participation. Harassment can be a wide range of unwelcome and offensive behaviors. They're usually repetitive, but they don't have to be. Bullying is a persistent pattern of mistreatment from others in the workplace, training environment that causes either physical or emotional harm. It can also include such tactics as verbal, nonverbal, psychological, physical abuse, and humiliation. Workplace harassment and discrimination are illegal, and individuals' rights are protected by local, state, and federal legislation. Next slide. These are clearly contrary to the Illinois Works program core values, which focus on empowerment for resilience and self-sufficiency, building a community of collaboration, and maximizing differences. Next slide, please. Okay, so we're going to Mentimeter, and I believe we're going to do things just a little bit different. So just get ready. You're going to see a graphic on the device you're using to access Mentimeter. You can use the alias or you can enter your real name. A message will come up. Get ready to play. Vroom with exclamation point. And I'm going to read the scenario and you determine if the behavior is bullying, harassment, or discrimination. So scenario number 1, an instructor yells at a participant in front of the class, calling him lazy and telling him that he will never achieve anything. Would this be classified as bullying, harassment, or discrimination? Okay, 13 people got it right. That is considered bullying. So let's see where we are. Okay, question 2. Childcare issues prevented a participant from arriving on time. The case manager tells her that he can help her if she goes on a date with him. Is this considered bullying, harassment, or discrimination? Correct. 27 of you said harassment, and that is the correct answer. Great job. So this is our last Mentimeter question for the moment. An applicant is redirected from the program because it is believed that any physical limitation would be a hardship on the program and the applicant. Is this considered bullying, harassment, or discrimination? Excellent. You all know, everybody got that one right. 28. It is considered discrimination, and great job on that. And I want to thank you all. You have been participating so well with your engagement and your answers. It really helps this go by. So let's see our scores. So Queen was our, oh wait, Queen won. Let's give Queen some emojis or some claps or something. You are the winner. Great job. Great job. So we're going to go to the next slide in the presentation, Shiva. Next. Thank you. Talking about legal implications, it's important for you to be aware of the following statutes related to harassment and discrimination. So we have Title, what is this? The Education Amendments Act of 1972. No persons in the United States based on sex should be excluded from participating in, be denied the benefit of, or be subject to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination in employment based on race, color, sex, religion, or national origin. The Equal Pay Act of 1963, EPA. This is a United States labor law amending the Fair Labor Standards Act. This abolishes wage disparity based on sex. The Illinois Human Rights Act. This state law prohibits discrimination with respect to age for a person's 40 and above, ancestry, arrest record, citizenship status, color, conviction record, disability, physical and mental, familial status with respects to real estate transactions, gender identity, marital status, military status, national origin, orders of protection, pregnancy, race, religion, retaliation, sex, sexual harassment, sexual orientation, and unfavorable military discharge. The American with Disabilities Act, ADA, prohibits discrimination against people who are physically or mentally challenged who are able to perform the essential functions of the job, and requires employers to offer reasonable accommodations to enable those workers to do their jobs. I do want to note the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EECO, is responsible for enforcing the statutes in this section, and the Illinois Human Rights Commission enforces the state laws. If any of these have been violated, if your program is being accused of a violation, or if a participant or program staff person suspects a violation, you want to be the first to know, not the last. A proactive approach can help protect your organization as well as your program participants. The Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeships 2026 Grantee Manual provides a few tools to assist you in dealing with these matters. Next slide, please. So we have template 1, which is the sample discrimination, harassment, and bullying policy. This sample policy provides a clear communication regarding expectations as they relate to discrimination, harassment, and bullying. Template 2 is the sample discrimination, harassment, bullying complaint form. This document helps formalize the process. You can go back, Sugar. The process for communicating violations to ensure the grantee is in the strongest position to be proactive. Template 3 is the sample policy and checklist for addressing discrimination, harassment, and bullying complaints. This document can assist with tracking complaints, the investigation process, findings, corrective actions implemented, and post-complaint follow-up to ensure a complete and comprehensive response to ensure the grantee is in the strongest position to take a proactive approach and can protect their participants, program, and organization. Next slide, please. You were previously introduced to the pre-apprentice life cycle. The pre-apprentice life cycle tracks participants' progress through the Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship program from initial program outreach to post-transition follow-up. Each stage of the life cycle for the pre-apprentice demonstrates an integral step in preparing participants to enroll in registered apprenticeship programs. With support from Illinois Works, grantees will guide their participants through a strategically planned and carefully implemented program that will specifically address the needs of the grantees' target populations. Additional details regarding each step of the pre-apprentice life cycle can be found in sections 4 through 8 of the Illinois Works Pre-Apprentice 2026 Grantee Manual. Next slide. Any questions before we proceed to the next grant manual section? If so, please feel free to unmute your line or post your questions in the chat.
There are currently no questions in the chat.
Okay, thank you. We can go to the next slide, which will begin Module 7, Staff Roles, Partner and Provider Relationships, and Leverage Resources. By the end of this module, you'll be able to assign staff roles and responsibilities to appropriate organization team members, differentiate between partnerships and providers, understand requirements of grantees, recipients, subgrantees, subrecipients, and contractors and vendors. You'll also be able to utilize strategies for leveraging resources and collaborations. Next slide. Let us move to the 2026 Grantee Manual, Section 3, which is Staff Roles, Partner and Providers, Relationships, and Leverage Resources. Next slide. Staff are the most critical part of any successful program. The Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program requires several roles and responsibilities to be covered to ensure participants are supported and successful as they navigate the program. On your screen, you will find a list of the staff roles that the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program expects all grantees to have in their program. Please keep in mind that one person can cover multiple roles, but there are some roles that through experience, the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program team have found are more successfully completed by a single individual. We will note these as we review each role. So the program administrator is accountable for ensuring program compliance, meeting performance metrics, and completing all required programmatic and financial reporting. So this is going to be your compliance. This is they oversee the reporting and the grantee process. For high school-based programs, the program administrator also serves as a dedicated personnel solely focused on ensuring the program's success and compliance with all Illinois Works requirements. So we also added a new role in 2026. We just gave it a definition to separate the program administrator from the program manager. And the program manager is responsible for day-to-day operations, onboarding staff, and monitoring the performance of other program roles. This individual must engage regularly with both participants and staff to ensure full compliance with all Illinois Works requirements. The program manager and program administrator must work collaboratively to ensure program success and adherence to all Illinois Works guidelines. The program manager reports to the program administrator regarding daily activities and overall program operations. For high school-based programs, the program manager also works closely with high school teachers and administrators to ensure compliance and the implementation of best practices. So next, we're going to touch on the outreach and recruitment coordinator. This role secures a constant flow of leads for the program, conducts pre-screen assessments, ensures program applications are completed, and conducts, along with other team members, standardized interviews. You can refer to Section 4 in the manual for more information on the requirements outlined here. Wraparound Service Coordinator. The Wraparound Service Coordinator is responsible for non-academic supports, beginning with the Wraparound Service Assessment during intake. This role will complete the assessment, set up necessary services, and work with the academic support specialists to offer additional supports if participants begin to struggle academically, if needed. The Wraparound Service Coordinator will also source from outside providers and partners other needed support services and refer participants to those services. You can refer to Section 6, participant wraparound services and student support services in the manual for more information on the requirements outlined. Instructor. Each organization is required to have a qualified and dedicated instructor for their program. This does not mean the instructors have to be employees. Only their programs have a contract with an individual or partner organization that will be carrying out the training portion of their pre-apprenticeship program. Instructors should provide classroom, hands-on, and worksite training and tutoring. In addition to instructors who are experienced and certified in construction training, grantees are required to deliver construction math lessons that develop participants' practice of applied mathematical skills and mechanical aptitude testing skills. You can refer to Section 7, Training, Instruction, and Certifications for more information regarding instructor certifications and requirements. I do want to mention that instructors will now be required to get certified by the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program before they deliver instruction. The next role that we will touch on is the Student Support Services Coordinator. The Student Support Services Coordinator is responsible for the academic needs of students, specifically the implementation of student support services, participant progress reports, action plans, monitoring attendance and academic performance, hosting makeup sessions or post-assessment retakes, and coordinating tutoring services for participants. You can refer to Section 6, Participant Wraparound Services and Student Support Services in this manual for more information on the requirements. Another space where there was a change this year is the Transition Services Coordinator. So new this year, your program must have a dedicated staff for the position based on the number of program participants. If you have 0 to 30, 0.5 full-time equivalent, 31 to 60, 1 full-time equivalent, 61 to 90, 1.5 full-time equivalent, and 91 to 120, 2 persons full-time equivalent. The Transition Services Coordinator is responsible for ensuring the orientation and pre-transition career assessments are completed and individualized career plans are created in coordination with other program staff, including the creation of resumes and the delivery of career readiness services such as mock interviews and assistance with completing apprenticeship program applications, among others. The Transition Service Coordinator also works with employers, DOR registered apprenticeship programs, and other partners to ensure the timely and successful transition of program graduates. The Transition Services Coordinator also conducts the required post-program proactive follow-up of graduates and ensures that their information, IWRS, is regularly updated. Refer to Section 8, Program Completion, Transition, and Follow-up in the manual for more information. The transition service coordinator must proactively interface with career services to coordinate career job fairs and to do job development, job matching, and registered apprenticeship program relationship building. We will now talk about the data entry coordinator, and this is most successfully completed by one person. Programs can determine how their program data is entered and reported in the Illinois Works Reporting System, or IWRS. This may be completed by the data entry coordinator or may be part of the other roles in the program. The data entry coordinator is responsible for ensuring timely reporting of programs data in IWRS, including entering participant information, programmatic and service data, outcome metrics, and verifying data accuracy. One person can maintain multiple roles. I just want to say this again, but programs need to be careful to assess capacity. One of our important lessons learned in the past year is that transition service coordinators and data entry coordinators should each have one dedicated person to do these roles successfully. Next slide, please. I'm running into that when people like. All staff and partners that are paid through Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship program funds are required to be qualified to serve in their roles. This includes having relevant experience and/or credentials when applicable. All grantees are required to have a procedure which outlines how these qualifications will be verified during the recruitment process. Grantees must also have updated resumes for all staff. Resumes need to be made available to Illinois Works staff when requested. Once again, instructors will be required to complete the Illinois Works Instructor Certification Program prior to beginning instruction of a cohort. So we are going back to Mentimeter. So, which of these roles are currently staffed in your organization? I was about to say, I saw some of your roles earlier. Very good. These numbers look good. Keep them coming. So it looks like pretty much the program administrator, the data entry coordinator, wraparound service coordinators are in place. Let's get a few more.
Shar, I do have a quick question that just came up in the chat.
Oh, so I see the question. What is the cutoff time and/or date to have all those roles filled? So your primary roles need to be filled. And Monica, you can chime in, but when we do the administrative onboarding, that is one of the questions that we ask, is about the roles and who will be filling those spaces. If you don't have a role filled, then it would just remain empty, but it would need to be put in place for you to be hiring someone. Is that correct, Monica?
Char's absolutely correct. In the meantime, there is no definitive time to have all of your staff, um, I'm sorry, hired, but obviously those positions would need to be filled before you begin instruction. So, obviously we have some grantees who won't be starting instruction until maybe in the summertime or early in the fall or something along those lines. So they would have a little bit more time. But if you are anticipating starting your programming in the next, you know, early March, mid March or so, then I would say as soon as possible you need to go ahead and get those positions filled.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, we have one more Mentimeter question, and this is covering your partnerships. So what type of entities have you partnered with, and who are some of your critical partners? I know we've had some conversations. We talked about it in some of our regional meetings and annual meetings, and even at the meeting that was held in the end of January, where we were talking about different partnerships that could be made with your organizations, health organizations, and different things like that. So if you could list some of the entities you have partnered with, and if you do have some critical partners based on your demographic and your community and things like that, we'd love to have you share now.
Thank you.
We did have a couple more questions pop up in the chat.
Oh, okay. I missed them.
They just came in. The first question is, are we allowed to place the positions on a job board? And if so, when we identify that person, when can we have an estimated start for them?
So, I, what job are you speaking of? Is it a specific one that you're asking about?
I think they may be
I'm
typing back.
speaking, this is Tamala with the Sender Knowledge. I'm speaking in regards to the positions that are not currently filled. So are we allowed to place those positions on the job boards?
Sure. Yes, absolutely. And there's a question about when the instructors training will take place, and I do not have an answer. Is there anyone on the line who has um, an answer for that?
I can attempt to answer that. I know that we want to have the training in place before the first cohorts begin, but I don't have an exact date on when those are going to start.
Okay, you will be receiving some information about that, but I see a lot of answers that have populated about the entities you partner with and the critical partners. So Alternative High School, OSHA 10 provider, Community Lifeline, Faith Partners, health providers, Skills Chicago, trade unions, libraries, American Heart Association, community centers, housing authorities, social service agencies, unions and employers, trade unions, IBEW, municipality reentry programs, different counties. Madison County is on here, and St. Clair County, probation and parole. I'm going to assume maybe officers, trade schools, SEBA, WRC, other CBOs, carpenter unions, trying to see, churches, housing authority. These are all good. And just think about having these partnerships as a resource for your participants if they needed different things, having, municipalities and trying to see, police districts. These are all really good. Thank you so much for your participation. I know there is another question. So the questions about is it Norvetta with Harmony? So the questions about the instructors and the waivers and things like that, you all can communicate with your grant managers, and they will be able to give you the information for that. So everyone has been assigned a grant manager currently, and then we can follow up with you to get you information on that as it's provided to us. All right, Shiva, we can go to the next slide outside of Mentimeter. Partnerships are typically a formally structured long-term relationship created by entities that work together to address complex issues to achieve a shared goal. Effective partnerships often bring unique capabilities to the relationship to support program outcomes. Partnerships may include, but are not limited to, local workforce boards, local and regional apprenticeship navigators, intermediaries focused on construction and the building trades, unions, community colleges, community groups, employers, employer associations, community-based organizations and churches, secondary schools, and more. So some of the things that I just read here are some of the things that you posted prior. So you are on the right track. Next slide, please. Partnerships are an Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship program requirement. Partnerships can create bridges that allow you to comprehensively respond to the needs of your pre-apprenticeship program and participants. It is an expectation that pre-apprenticeship programs provide wraparound services, student support services, and successfully transition participants into DOL registered apprenticeship programs and employment. Next slide, please. Partnerships versus providers. It may be helpful to clarify DCEO and Illinois Work terms as they relate to partnerships and other relationships. DCEO and Illinois Works acknowledges the following roles: partners and providers. Partners are typically formally structured long-term relationships, entities that work together with you to address complex issues to achieve a shared goal. You and your partners both contribute your unique capabilities to the relationship to maximize outcomes. It is not necessary that providers contribute to solving complex issues or even that they have joint strategic goals. Providers can contribute by effectively delivering a needed service. They can be an extension of your program service team. An effective provider contributes services, i.e. activities and/or tasks that support your program's outcomes per their commitment. Their role is simply to get the job done. Both partners and providers can provide critical support for your program success. Next slide, please.
I have a
Partners
quick question that showed up in the chat, actually, Shar.
yes,
I have a question that asks, is it a program requirement that we have formal MOUs for all partnerships?
you are getting ahead of yourself, Melissa. That is coming up in the next slide. When we get there, if you still have questions, then you can definitely represent them, okay? Partners may include the following: grantee and recipient, sub-grantee and sub-recipient. Providers may include the following: a contract or a vendor. Next slide. Grantees and recipients, non-state entities that receive an award directly from the state awarding agency to carry out the activities as outlined in the award. This is the role that your organizations fulfill. Subgrantees and subrecipients, a non-state entity that receives a subaward for the purpose of carrying out part or portion of a state award. The subaward creates an assistance relationship between grantee recipients and the subrecipient. Contractors and vendors, a non-state entity that receives a contract to provide goods and/or services for the awarding non-state entity. The contract creates a procurement relationship between the contractor and the grantee recipients and/or the subgrantee subrecipient. Next slide, please. Here's what each of these role types means for you. Partners can be recipients or grantees, but they must be GATA pre-qualified, are officially on record for the grant, and can receive the actual funds for the grant through a grant agreement with DCEO. They require an MOU with sub-grantees. They must be a nonprofit. They must report program participation and outcomes through the periodic performance report and periodic financial report, plus other reporting required by Illinois Works. They must maintain program documentation for 3 to 5 years. Now, no, ARPA requires 5 years, but most state programs require 3. Subrecipients and subgrantees, they do not need to be GATA pre-qualified. They must not be on the debarred list, suspended list, excluded parties list, or nor the sanctioned parties list, and are officially on record for the grant and can receive the actual grant funds through the grantee. They require a MOU with grantees, can be for-profit, can be a nonprofit, must report program participation and outcomes, must maintain program documentation for 3 to 5 years. This must be in line with the funding source and outlined in the grant agreement. They also provide services and outcomes that are reported and managed by the recipients and grantees. Providers can be contractors and vendors. These relationships do not require GOT or pre-approval, are not officially on record for the grant agreement, are compensated by the recipients and grantees or sub-recipients and grantees. They do not require MOU, can be a for-profit or a nonprofit, and must report activities and services per the requirement of the recipients, grantees, or sub-recipients and grantees. Next slide. So the NOFO requested that you list partners in the staffing plan, which is attachment 4. In the chat, indicate if you have created new partnerships for your pre-apprenticeship program. So if you've already started building these partnerships, you can list some of them here. And Melissa, the next slide is about MOU, so I'm coming to you. So if you work with any colleges, okay, churches and high school, that's Michael Walton, thank you. SWIC, okay. So the CBOs, you're working with people within your within the network. Okay, unions, very good. High schools, construction trade companies, great. The DMV, yes, that's a good one. GD training sites, okay. Thank you all. Those are some good partnerships to have, and if you think of any more, you can definitely add them to the chat. Next slide, please. Many of you likely have MOUs in place with your program partners. If not, consider prioritizing this task. A memorandum of understanding, MOU, is a formal agreement between 2 or more entities. Though they are not legally binding, they do communicate a degree of seriousness, mutual respect, and understanding regarding accountabilities. MOUs are required for partners between recipients, grantees, and sub-recipients and sub-grantees. MOU typically includes, but may not be limited to, the following sections: purpose and scope, background, project or curricular program name, responsibilities under the MOU per entity, agreed upon mutual understandings, reporting requirements, record retention, effective date, and signature. Your MOU should clearly indicate who is responsible for what. It should also include any relevant information regarding finances, how much, when, and how payments will be disseminated. Next slide. We have a Mensa-meter coming up. So let's get ready again. Based on your experience, what additional items have you found valuable for an MOU to ensure partnerships are functional once the program is running? So I know we had union sites, we had GED training sites, high school programs, community colleges, different counties. So meetings, check-ins, actual face time with partners, spelling out what you also do not do. Yeah, that's good. Based on your experience, what additional items have you found valuable for an Oh, just a question again. Clear expectations, communication and marketing guidelines, goals for both parties, clear understanding, advisory board, in-kind services, clear expectations, reporting accuracy and data capture, expectations are recorded, clear statements on requirements, clear means of communication, expectations thereof. So I know you see the pattern. Be clear on what the expectation is, understanding what you do and what they do and what you all do together. Expiration dates or time frame. Can you scroll down, please? Clear roles and responsibilities and communication and expectations. Very good. Mission alignment, clear roles and decision-making authority to avoid duplication and confusion, communication expectations, participant referral. I hope you all are jotting some of these down too, because these are really good. Scroll down, please. A clear understanding of the mission, roles, and responsibilities. Clear understanding, clear roles, expectations. That's been consistent. Something that mentions it can be amended if both parties agree. That's also good. Clarity of expectations. So everybody sees the pattern here. You got to be clear. Thank you so much for sharing. Clarity of expectations. Okay, next slide outside of Mentimeter. So if you would like a copy of a sample MOU, a sample will be shared in the chat through the WebEx transfer feature. If you would like a copy, the PDFs are available. You can download them on your screen. You should be able to see the PDFs available as a download on your screen. So step 1, select the document. Step 2, select download. Step 3, identify a location on your computer where you would like to save the document. And step 4, you save it.
Shar, I do have a disclaimer here. And for file transfers, while we're doing this process, if you are not able to download these documents via the device that you're using, we will be providing these sample MOUs in the partner guide
Okay.
as the recording and all the other PowerPoint presentations are being prepared. And that should be in about 3 to 5 days.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Carlita. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide again. Accountability. It is important to keep in mind that the grant recipient and grantee is the one who will ultimately be held accountable by Illinois Works and DCEO. If subrecipient, subgrantees, or provider is not performing as agreed, they can be removed and or replaced. However, a recipient grantee will be held accountable by DCEO. Please note, failure can lead to being placed on the Illinois Stop Payment List. If you are placed on this list, you will not be considered as a recipient grantee or subrecipient subgrantees for any future funding opportunity as long as you remain on the list. If you're on the Illinois Stop Payment List, you will not be able to receive reimbursement funds. To learn more about the Illinois Stop Payment List, visit the informational session on the Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship NOFO 25 website, specifically the GATA pre-qualification webinar. Next slide.
So our question did just pop up in the chat. It's asking if we are changing grant managers, will all of our documents we submitted last year be shared with the new grant manager? And they're clarifying the standard ones.
So the short answer is yes, but you will need to have new documents for like administrative onboarding and things like that going forward. Is that what you're talking about, Lita? But we do have access to see what was uploaded last year, correct? Did I answer your question?
They said, okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Clearly, partnerships and other relationships can support your ability to respond to each of the program elements and support your ability to achieve your program outcomes. However, it is important to acknowledge that by identifying and cultivating successful partnerships, this requires hard work by all parties. Next slide, please. The Illinois Works reporting system is designed to manage participant progress and partner engagement. Through the Partner Engagement and Management tab, grantees will track partner relationships and engagement, including the type of partner, i.e. business association, community college, union, social service agency, and employer, among others, and the services the partner offers. For example, supportive services, job site training, other instruction, daycare, etc. This type of tracking is critical for programs to develop a robust and ever-growing network of partners. As stated throughout this manual, engaging with partners can provide significant benefits to grantees and participants. The Illinois Works team will look at partner recruitment and engagement data as one of the key metrics denoting grantee success. We're going back to Mentimeter. What might be some potential barriers to developing successful partnerships? Poor leadership, unclear roles, lack of clarity, being unprepared, not having clear goals, unable to identify roles. These are all definite barriers. Gatekeeping, that's true. Being unprepared, not sure of timing, changing roles, duplicate activity, turf issues, misaligned values, limited communication. These are all, yes, no follow through. Lack of transparency, unaligned mission culture, difference in policies. Trying to make sure I haven't missed any. Location, conflict resolution, egos. These are all real answers. Unwilling to listen. Yes, these are barriers. Unclear about payment. Trying to make sure I got them all. Uncertainty, equity, safety, lack of trust. Yes, these are good answers. These are definitely potential barriers. Thank you all for the participation. Great job. Your list, all of your lists have been great. Thank you. Next slide in the presentation. Here are a few barriers to developing successful partnerships we have identified. Lack of mutual respect, lack of trustworthiness or trust, focus on money and not outcomes, deceptive practices regarding joint goals, poor listening skills, unwillingness to acknowledge or confront issues or challenges, lack of subject matter expertise, competition instead of cooperation, hoarding information, developing cliques and silos. We're going back to Mentimeter. What are some strategies you can employ to overcome barriers to developing successful partnerships? Regular check-in, active listening, transparency, clear expectations, learn together, build trust, communication, research, maintain communication, look for the common area, face-to-face meetings, active listening, communication. I like that that's right in the middle. Identify a point person, um, clear process, build trust, ask for introductions, being open and available. Consistency, flexibility, transparency again. Engage in hard conversations. What it was open to, I lost it, perspectives. Initial outreach, that's good. Openly communicate. Regular follow-up meetings. Clear process, be present and transparent. Towards the spaces. Active listening, regular frequent communication. Unbiased listening, flexibility. These are all really good answers. Thank you all again, because once again, this list is very good. We're going to go to the
Hi,
next.
can I have a number one dipped heavily, 6 inch?
Miss Crenshaw, can you
Um,
mute yourself? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So next slide in the presentation, please. So below are a few techniques we have identified to prevent or overcome barriers to successful partnerships. Number one is practice active listening. Focus on outcomes. Create a detailed MOU. Acknowledge and confront issues or challenges. Freely share relevant information. Have regular planning and progress meetings. Agreeing on how the work will be done. And you can use the grantee manual as your guide. Audit by the recipient of the subgrantees and providers to ensure performance and reporting compliance. Submit progress reports to be reviewed at progress meetings. Next slide, please. There are specific actions and steps you can take to overcome, if not preempt, some of the barriers. Let's review a few best practices for keeping your Illinois Works partnerships on track. Provide accurate and up-to-date information on reports. General DCO and GATA requirements. Submit reports on time. Deliver services on time. Communicate concerns and issues immediately to both your partner and your Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship program grant manager. Utilize available resources from workforce development organizations. Utilize Illinois Works available tools. Ensure you are following all the guidance provided in the grantee manual. And if you're unsure, ask Illinois Works. It's important that you reach out to your grant manager or other relevant Illinois Works staff if you have questions or need any support. It's better to inquire now than wait until your outcomes are at risk. Even if you're doing a good job, if your reporting doesn't reflect it, Illinois Works will not know it. Your reporting needs to be accurate and on time. So we're coming to the ends of this presentation. Are there any questions before we proceed and go forward?
There are currently no questions in the chat.
Okay. So next slide, please. I'm going to share with you our onboarding schedule, and be sure to make yourself and your staff available, as these are required sessions for the programs. So we've already had the 2026 onboarding conference, which was in person, and that was for new and renewal grantees. The 2026 grantee manual updates was yesterday for renewal grantees. The 2026 grantee manual session 1 today for new grantees. And IWRS session 1 is going to be held on February 17th, and that one will be virtual for new grantees. IWRS updates will be February 10th. It'll be virtual for renewal grantees. The grantee manual session 2 will be February 19th. That will be virtual for new grantees. And IWRS sessions 2, 3, and 4 will be February 25th in person, and that's for new grantees. The grantee manual session 3 will be February 24th. That one will be virtual for new grantees. And the Illinois Works Coaching Needs Assessment Questionnaire will be February 27th, and that will be virtual for new and renewal grantees. Next slide, please. Are there any questions about the onboarding sessions or schedule?
We did
There
have
is
some
a question.
questions. Mhm. There is a question on, they're coming in. Are there any updates on access to My Absorb?
I don't know what that means.
I can answer that for you, Shar.
Okay.
Absorb is
I know
she's
what it
called
is, but I didn't know what they were asking.
oh, okay. They're calling it Absorb, but of course, Absorb is the Illinois Works Learning Management System. That's the LMS for the communities of practice. Yeah, so they have made updates to the system. And so we want to make sure we incorporate those updates, reshoot our tutorial videos before we open it to all of the grantees. Yes, yep. And so you all, as soon as we finish making all of the updates to our content relevant to the system updates, one, you should be receiving a weekly communication from Illinois Works regarding all of the professional development, onboarding webinars and events. And so in that communication, when the LMS is now open for registration for the communities of practice, you will be alerted. And in the LMS is also where you will participate in the instructor certification. So it will all be in there, and you all will have something. I want to under promise, over deliver here by end of next week. I think we should have it ready to go. Most of the videos have already been reshot and posted on the partner guide.
There's a question about the in-person IWRS session for the new grantees. If I believe that information is in the partner guide, and if anything changes, you will get an update. If you've registered already, you will be notified if there are any changes to any of these trainings. So go ahead and just register so we can have you in the queue. So if there are any changes, you can be notified because you're already registered in the system to attend. All right. Next slide, we are going to have our final, our final Mentimeter, and we want your feedback. So we want to hear from you. We appreciate your feedback. We want to use your feedback to improve the quality of our training. So we have some questions for you. You all did an amazing job with all the questions thus far. So the first question is to share your views on this training by rating the following statements from 1, lowest, 10, highest. To what extent did this training meet your expectations? How likely are you to attend a similar event in the future? How likely are you to recommend this training to others? Let's get a few more. So I do want to answer this question. So Nadia, the 2026 manual is not live yet. Um, oh, thank you, Gia. She was already she was already on it. Okay, thank you all. Next question. The course was relevant to what I wanted to learn about this subject matter. And you can pick strongly disagree, somewhat disagree, strongly agree. And once again, if you ever have any comments, we do have that email, the CEO.illinoisworks, ilworks at illinois.gov.
I have a question. This is Melissa.
Mhm.
On the grant manual onboarding sessions that you just showed, it says February 17th, session 1 virtual new Grantee. But when I'm on the partner guide page, it says for renewal administrators and teams. Do I just still go ahead and register for that webinar?
Can you communicate with your grant manager
Okay.
and we'll make sure that everything's clear, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next question, please. So Rochelle says she can't hear. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Sean.
Okay. I plan to apply what I learned.
Yep. See, now it's coming again.
And we really appreciate you all giving the feedback. Okay, thank you, Rochelle. Okay, next slide, please. What improvements might you recommend?
Ensuring your audio is working.
That's a good one. And we do a whole prep where we check the audio and things like that.
You're supposed to say the same thing.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. These are good. And thank you all. So and I can respond to the one about more clearly stating the differences between the 25 and 26 manual. So we did have the grantee update meeting, and that specifically happened there. So is there anything else about this course you think we should know? And of course that I'm sorry, I'm trying to read the chat. And so they are responding to some of your answers in the chat if you had a question. So the question about your work plan, if you could speak to your grant manager to make sure that, you know, they answer that question for you. Okay, new to the process, questions may come at a later date. That's great. Maybe break up into sessions so it's not so long. Understood. Having the 2026 manual available. Understood. Please don't have a start until the manual is available. An opportunity for breakout rooms to engage with other grantees and partnerships. Thank you for this feedback. All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate your feedback. It's definitely going to help us. And the next slide in the presentation, next one. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your engagement, your feedback, your comments, your questions. We look forward to working with you in this 2026 year. If you have any questions, you can email the email that was on all the question slides, or you can reach out to your grant manager. Thank you so much. You all have a great afternoon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day.